Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making an Easter card with the Bunny Butt Peekaboo stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and we're going to be stamping this on some Strathmore Tone Tan paper today. It is their 400 series and it's the sketch paper, so it is smooth. So we're going to do some colored pencil coloring on this. And to give it kind of a no-line effect, we're going to stamp this with Distress ink, antique linen, I think is what I used. And so it'll just give me a very faint line to use, and once I get all the colored pencil on there, you won't even be able to see the stamp line much at all. So I'm just placing some of the eggs around so I can stamp as many things at once as possible. And I realized I had the wrong tin out, so I had to get up and go back to where I store my Distress inks and get the tin that has the antique linen out. And I'm just going to ink that up really good and stamp it down. And I think I do stamp it a couple of times with my Misty here. Yeah, there's a couple of areas that didn't stamp real good. I thought coloring with colored pencils on this bunny rabbit would be good because it would give him some more texture. I don't use the Gamsol on him to totally smooth it out. I leave it a bit textured. I just use the Magic Rub from Prisma to just blend all the little colors together a little bit, but it still leaves it with texture, and so it makes it kind of look like it's fur. To me, anyway. That was my interpretation of it. I'm by no means an expert at colored pencils at all, but I do like to color with colored pencils. One, I like to take them on the go because you can take a lot of pencils in a small space. You know, unlike my Copic markers, it takes a humongous bag if I'm going to take all of those with me. So I do like to take them on the go if I'm going to go out of town and want to take some art projects to work on while I'm gone, which I have done before on camping trips and stuff. And so I just have Prismacolor pencils. I have got the original 36 set, and then I've bought some extras, and I just keep them in that little pink box with all my little erasers, my gummed eraser, my magic eraser, and a regular eraser. So, and then I have a separate little container for my sharpener and everything. So that's my kind of setup for my Prismacolor pencils. I know that there's, you know, a lot of colored pencils around, but these work fine for me, like, because I'm not an artist per se, and I'm not an expert at it. So I think these just suit me well and give me the effect that I need. So that's why I've only invested in the Prismacolor pencils. So I'm just going in and laying in some shadows here with a darker color in the lines of his little face or her little face, whichever way you want to look at it. So I will speed this up here and get through the coloring, but I will show you all of the coloring of the bunny rabbit. So what's new? Well, you know, not a lot's new since you can't do a lot these days. I can't remember if I did tell y'all in some of the last videos that we did find out some good news on my son's culinary competition fronts. They did get officially awarded state champions, so that came with another scholarship to the second school that he's going to go to, and so there'll be another $1,000 a year, so that was awesome. And then on the national level, all seniors that qualified for nationals will receive $1,500 cash prize each, so that was a nice little surprise too. So that definitely helps out with his college tuition fees and things. So that was some good news. We have in Texas been extended through May 1 for our shelter in place kind of orders. well, the whole state, yeah, a shelter in place kind of order. I mean, you still can get out for the essential things and stuff. But for the most part, they want everybody to stay home if you're not an essential worker. So that has extended school online at home learning through that time period as well. And I think right now he's scheduled to go back to school on whatever that Monday is, May 4th, 5th, whatever that Monday is. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. You know, it's a very fluid thing, and we just take it day by day. You know, I'm still hoping that they'll be able to squeeze in some of his, you know, senior activities, like prom and baccalaureate and graduation itself. I'm going to be very disappointed as a mom if we do not get to have graduation. So we're just waiting and hoping that all this shelter in place does what they want it to do, and we get to have some of these activities. So I did skip over some of the coloring of the eggs, and now I'm just using some Gamsol to smooth out the eggs. And then once that dries, I will use some of my Gellyroll pens to put some detail on the eggs, and then I will coat them all with a clear sparkle overlay. I can't remember which pen I use. I think I use my tonic one. I go between the tonic and the Spectrum Noir a lot. I don't use my Wink Stella a whole lot. I think I'm almost out of it anyway, but I use the Spectrum Noir and the tonic aqua pens interchangeably. So you'll see that will happen here in a second on the card. So what else is happening? Well, over at the ranch, my husband is meeting the electrician over at the barn today, and they're going to get all the wiring done to transform one of the barns into a giant air-conditioned space to house all the wine that's going to be there soon, because our next bottling day is April 24th, which, barring any major shutdowns of the area, will still happen, and we've got to have a air-conditioned place or refrigerated place to put the wine for storage and aging. So so we're transforming one of the barns into a giant refrigerated room to house this until the winery gets going. On the winery front, we had soil samples. We're redoing the soil testing on the ground to somebody that's more familiar with this area. They took samples about 2 weeks ago, and we're still waiting on that report to come back. So here, I did not have a die that really worked well to cut out my Easter Wishes stamp that I heat emboss here on this cotton candy cardstock. So I used this banner die, and I ran it through, and then because of the stitching, you can feel when it locks into place, and then you turn it around and you lock it into place and you run it back through, and then you got a cute little square. So you just got to think of your dies in creative ways and figure out how else you can use what you have to make it work. So I'm going to layer this panel up on some more cotton candy cardstock, and then I'm going to pop up that Easter Wishes on some foam tape and put it right underneath his little paws, so it kind of looks like he is peeking over that little sign. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to stamp another sentiment from the stamp set and the back of the bunny butt, or the back of the bunny, the butt, and that will finish off the card. At the very end, I will have some final pictures for you to look at. And so what else? I guess doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, binge watching TV. So we have been binge watching The Ranch on Netflix, and it stars Sam Elliott, Deborah Winger, and Ashton Kutcher. And there's a couple other recognizable faces, I can't think of their names, that play Abby and Heather on the show. And it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's sad at times, but it just really shows a lot of trials and tribulations of ranch life. It is called The Ranch. And so we've been binge watching that. We're on season 7. I think there's only 8 seasons, so we'll have to find something else soon to binge watch after that. So we've been tossing around some ideas of what to binge watch. If you've got any great suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. I appreciate any suggestions there. So here's where I'm adding detail to all these little eggs with my Gellyroll pens. I have the GLAZE pens and the STARDUST pens, and so I'm just taking some different ones and just adding little details to the eggs just to decorate them up in true Easter fashion. So, you know, we need to make cards and send them out this year, especially for Easter, because we won't be able to gather with as much family as we normally do. So I'm trying to get some cards made to send out to some family. So get creative and send some love to your family since you can't be together this Easter. As always, I appreciate you stopping by and watching one of my videos and subscribing and thumbs upping. It really means a lot to me and it helps my channel to grow. So thanks a lot, take care, and we'll see you soon in the next video.